Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for joining us. My name's Tim Wheaton with MMA Sucka, joined today by the former lightweight champion in Bellator, and we're so lucky to have him, Brent Primus. Brent, how's everything going today, sir?
Good, man. I just got done doing my last hard sparring session, Shark Tank, and it was brutal. I'm glad it's all over with.
Yeah, it's that's absolutely right. Now, your upcoming fight, you're fighting Islam Mamedov at Bellator 263 on July 31st. Prepping for your upcoming fight, what's the game plan? How's training been fitting in?
The game plan is to win, and training has been awesome, man. I've been training my butt off. I'm ready, man. I'm feeling dangerous, and I'm ready for war.
Dude, I absolutely love it. That's great to hear. Now, when I was doing research for this, I found you do quite a bit of media. You do a lot of interviews. What's the most annoying common interview question that you get asked by the MMA media? What questions are you sick of answering?
Oh, man. Jeez. I don't know. I feel like when I'm doing have a fight and I do interviews, 3 or 4 a day for weeks, whatever, it's pretty much just like repetitive questions over and over. And, I'm used to it now. And so I don't really get annoyed from anything. It's just repetitive, the same thing, kind of.
Yeah, I totally get that. And even doing research, sometimes I'm like, yeah, these questions have been asked, but I'm gonna have to ask them again. But here we go. So exactly. with Mamedov coming up, any beef with this opponent, or is it just business as usual?
Business as usual, man. I usually don't have any beef with any of my opponents. I respect everybody that I fight, and they're doing the same thing I'm doing. I know they're putting their heart and soul in it and everything. So the only guy that I really don't really care for is Michael Chandler, and I don't have to deal with that guy anymore. But yeah, man, no hard feelings at all.
Any words for your former adversary, your former rival in Michael Chandler? You guys were 1-1, and then he left.
Yeah, I was definitely wanting that trilogy fight, and screw that guy. He's a little bitch. I don't like him, and you never know, man. Someday we might fight. Get that third fight. You never know.
There you go. You never know. So you haven't been in the cage at all in 2020, but you've taken some grappling events here on the side. You submitted Jake Shields. You fought a light heavyweight in Craig Jones. I mean, those are pretty interesting year that you have. Talk about the experience you had in the grappling competitions for the last year.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I've went through 2 full training camps in this year, and I was supposed to fight Yamaguchi in July. That got canceled from COVID, and I had another fight in December, and I literally lost 30 pounds. I went through a whole fight camp, and they got canceled the last week, and so that was really hard to deal with. And then luckily, Chael Sonnen hit me up. He's like, "Hey, man, you want to do these grappling matches?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's stay fresh and compete or whatever." So it was good. And the Jake Shields match was awesome. I looked up to Jake Shields a lot. I used to watch him before I even started fighting, and then I got I went through a whole training camp in December, and it didn't happen. And then they asked if I want to go against Craig Jones. And I was like, "Gosh damn, I guess let's do it." And it was a good opportunity and a good learning experience for sure.
No, definitely. It's insane to do a grappling match with Craig Jones and Jake Shields. Those are 2 grappling legends, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I want to ask you about the weight cut as well. Is there any foods? I know that you're on the bigger side of lightweight. Is there any foods that you really miss when you're on the weight cut trail?
Yeah, every carb and every sweet, everything, man. I've literally been just eating vegetables and grilled chicken and turkey and salads all day long. That's all I do, and I cannot wait to eat some pizza, some burgers, some spaghetti. I love my sweets. I can't wait to eat some ice cream and pie. But yeah, I literally have nightmares of me eating pizza or something like that. I'll wake up oh my God, did I eat that? And but yeah, man, I cannot wait to I'm gonna go to Vegas after this fight, and I'm gonna go to every buffet, and I'm gonna eat everything. I'll probably come back 200 pounds.
Man, that's right. As soon as you're done July 31st, you get back out there, hit the buffet. That's what it's about in Vegas, man.
Exactly.
So a lot of fighters do have a signature brand. Some of them have hot sauces, some of them have whiskey, some of them have tequilas. If you could have your own Brent Primus brand, what would your product be?
Oh, it'd be my own marijuana strain, man. That's for sure. I'm a big cannabis fan. I believe in I way back in the day it was all medical, and for me, man, marijuana helps me relax. And I used to have really bad ADHD. I couldn't sit still in class. As soon as I started smoking, I could relax. And so for me, man, it's cannabis for sure. My own marijuana strain would be cool.
Man, 100%. I totally understand that. No, it's a bit of a surreal thing that you in your life have gone from at one point selling weed illegally to now with your sponsorships in MMA that you can now sell weed legally.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
It's been quite
Yeah,
the
man,
life.
it was crazy because like I got kicked out of my house when I was really young and like 13, and I tried to get a job at every place I could, Taco Bell, anywhere. Nobody would hire me because I was so young. And I met some little hippie dude, and he started giving me marijuana, and I started selling it. And had my own house when I was 15, and I was making like $400 a day, and uh, just it was crazy, And then after a while, I actually started growing medical marijuana for a bunch of patients that had cancer and HIV and and stuff like that, And then it went from there and to now, yeah, like you said, man, I'm sponsored by some awesome dispensaries, and it's a cool thing, like help sell CBDs and all that stuff.
No, that was one of the amazing things that I found with your career is that you were homeless at one point in your life. You built your own company, and then at one point you're winning a championship at Madison Square Garden. You've kind of had the American dream life, haven't you? Like it's been an amazing success, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy for sure. It's been crazy.
Been crazy for sure. Now, if we're talking making a little bit of money, a little bit on the side, is there any YouTube personalities that you would love to beat up in a boxing ring?
Oh man, I'd beat the crap out of Jake or Paul or any of those guys for the amount of money that everybody's making. Oh my God, that'd be freaking awesome. Or yeah, any of those guys, man. Anybody that I think it'd be cool to fight one of those dudes or I know I saw Justin Bieber's training at Mayweather's or whatever, and I'd like to smash that dude or any of those guys for money. It'd be cool, like I think Jake Paul and those guys are awesome. How they're bringing light to the MMA community, how we're not getting paid as much as we should, and I think that's cool, and I do respect them for that, and so that's cool.
Oh, absolutely. I love that answer. So you'll pretty much box any of the Paul brothers for money is what I'm hearing, but anyone who wants to throw down with you, that's the guy. Maybe Justin Bieber is what you said.
Yeah, I was kind of joking about the Justin Bieber thing, but yeah, no, Jake Paul, any of those guys, man, like especially the amount of money that they're making to box those guys, I think it's cool. I actually made a bunch of money off of what was it, Logan or Jake, the guy that fought the basketball player first. Can't remember which one it was, but I made money on him. Yeah. I made money on that guy because a bunch of my guys at the gym had money on was it Nate Robinson or whatever?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but I was like, dude, I've seen this Jake or Logan Paul knock out many dudes in the ring. He might not be the best boxer, but he has knockout power. And I know that that Nate Robinson didn't, and I won a couple $100 on that fight. And yeah, man, they might not be the the best boxers or whatever, but they have knockout power and they can knock out people. And so yeah, man, I had money on them for sure, and I won.
Man, that's what it's all about. We're making money on the side, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, you kind of gotten into MMA on a little bit of a different trail. You got beat up in a jiu-jitsu gym and then said, "This is it. This is the thing I want to do." Right?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I said, I got kicked out of my house when I was really young. I had my own house when I was like 14, 15. My house was like the party house. It was like 7-Eleven, man. Like I was, making money selling pot. And at the same time, I lived in Eugene and U of O. There's a college, big college there. And so I'd go to college parties. I was 16 years old, and I would literally get in at least one fight or two fights a weekend. And I was knocking out grown men. And every weekend I was knocking people out. My hand used to be like a humongous calcium deposit. And I'd go to these parties and people would bet money on me, arm wrestling or fighting these people. And man, there'd be sometimes where I would literally fight 3 guys on one, and I'd just, I was kicking the shit out of these dudes. And one of my buddies was like, man, if you're going to be doing this, you might as well make some money. So he signed me up for a cage fight. And I remember I was like 2 weeks out, and I was like, oh man, I better go to this jiu-jitsu gym and see what it's all about. And I walked in that gym, and I thought I was going to manhandle everybody. And they submitted me and put their damn legs around my neck and choked me. And I was like, from then on, I fell in love with it. And I knew that it was all about technique. And I had my own landscaping business at the time, and I was selling a bunch of weed, and I kind of just threw it all aside and sold everything and just put my heart and soul into jiu-jitsu. And I had my blue belt within 3 weeks on Pan Americans, and just went from there, man. I fell in love with it, and I'm glad I did, man, because now I'm here.
Dude, and one of the insane things is you started in kind of in jiu-jitsu, you did some grappling stuff. You got a go-go plata. You're one of the only people in MMA history to score a go-go plata in the cage. That's absolutely insane, man.
Hell yeah, man. I got a couple cool submissions that I'm working on that I've been catching a lot of people in, and I don't think anybody's really caught anybody in a big promotion. And this one that I've been working on, and I'm not going to say what it is, but I really hope that I'm thinking I can catch this Islam guy in it if I don't knock him out. I've been working my stand-up, man. My stand-up feels really good, and I really feel like I can knock this dude out. But I know he's a good wrestler, so I think he's going to shoot on me. But if he decides to stand and bang, then we're going to bang for sure.
Man, I love to hear it. We got an exclusive scoop. We're going to see a brand new submission in your upcoming fight here. I know I've been to Oregon. It's in a super fun state. We did a road trip through Oregon, and it's a really fun state is what I'll say. But let's say I'm a young man and I'm going to Oregon and I got some money in my pocket. Where's a place that I absolutely need to hit up? Where's the funnest spots in Oregon that you would recommend to folks?
Man, I feel like, Oregon's not like Vegas where there's like big clubs and stuff like that. I think the best thing about Oregon is just the outdoors, the wildlife. There's lakes and rivers and mountains and things like that. So I really don't think you really need too much money. When I'm not fighting, I'm on the lake or the river or hiking or camping or, on the beach. There's just so many awesome things to do in Oregon. It's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. The air is fresh and so I would just say, man, just enjoy the outdoors and that's what I do, man. Especially summertime, man. Summertime is beautiful here. So
now, yeah, Oregon's an awesome place to visit. One of my favorites, one of the funnest places I've been. Who were your biggest inspirations for getting into the sport of MMA? Was there a fighter that you really looked up to?
Probably Rickson Gracie. When I first started jiu-jitsu, he was the man. I saw that choke video. I don't know if you've seen that choke video that he made. Man, that got me. I watched that video and it was amazing. Just his mental game, how strong he was mentally, and the how he was all about his family and technique. And man, Rickson Gracie definitely got me into it for sure, and was the man, for sure.
Rickson Gracie's like one of the OGs OG for MMA, right? Like this is one of the real originals of the sport. Now, speaking of entering the sport, do you have any advice for the younger folks who might be entering into MMA? What would you tell them?
Just probably stay consistent, stay in the gym. I see so many people that, they'll train, they'll take time off, and they'll train, they'll take time off. And I think the biggest thing is just being consistent and staying focused and being confident. Man, it's such a hard sport because there's ups and downs. You're always getting beat up and everything. But I think the biggest thing is just, stick with it and be consistent, and eventually you'll fall on the path and everything. I remember when I first started training, I went to that jiu-jitsu gym and I started training with like Evan Dunham and a bunch of guys that were like, I think purple and browns at the same time. And it was a lot different back then. The classes and stuff weren't really scheduled, and technique, we just went in there and just grappled and fought and stuff like that. And man, I remember I got my butt beat for months and months straight, like months. And I remember waking up like, what the hell am I doing? But for me, I just love the competitive. I just love to compete, and I love the how hard it was and the challenge, and I just stuck with it. And I've seen so many people that get frustrated and overwhelmed, and there's like, screw this, man. But it's just one of those things. If you just stick with it and you're consistent, you're bound to get good.
Just keep working at it. Yeah, no, and just keep working at it. Stay consistent. And I remember
another thing is like, maybe not spar super freaking hard all the time, man. Like I remember we used to just brawl every day. We'd put the damn gloves on and we'd try to knock each other out every single day, and concussions here and there and injuries here and there. And I think now that everybody's getting smarter and so it's a lot different now than what it was when I first started, for sure.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. And no, so you started with Evan Dunham, and what I was going to say is Evan Dunham was incredibly good. He's a really good fighter. And then you're saying that you were sparring with Dunham every day?
Yeah, man, I got thrown into the Sharks, man. Evan and Ben Baxter, these guys got a bunch of black belts, and yeah, man, I learned a lot from Evan. And he just moved to Portland, Oregon, and he's actually in the American Top Team a little bit now, and it's kind of cool. I've been sparring, I've been hearing him his voice and, you know, cheering me on and coaching me a little bit, which is kind of cool. And but yeah, man, I got thrown into the wolves, but at the same time, it's like trial and error. I learned so fast. You know, it's kind of hard not to get good and learn when you're getting beat up and training with such high level guys. So it definitely, you know, made me evolve fast.
Yeah, get beat up and get better is the attitude. Was the attitude at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Now, do you have any advice for new fathers out there? If you're having a child in the future, you have some experience here being a father yourself. Do you have any advice for new fathers?
Man, enjoy every second, every minute of it. You know, I grew up with my dad in prison. I never had a dad, and so I never knew what it was like to have a dad. And then now that I am a dad, I just want to be the best dad. You know, I think it's literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. My kids are awesome, and makes me almost want to tear up just talking about it, man. But it is what life is all about, being a dad. It is, you know, I get done training. Like right now, I drive, you know, 2 hours to Portland every day and drive back 2 hours, you know, obviously. And that's like the highlight of my days, driving home and picking up my kids and hanging out with them. And it's a blessing, man. It is the coolest thing in the world.
The coolest thing, very rewarding. And one last question before I let you go here. We're looking 5 years, 10 years down the line. Where is Brent Primus's MMA career? What do you see in your future here?
Man, I told my wife that I'm gonna go until I'm 41, and at least I'm gonna throw everything I have, my heart and soul, until I'm 41, and then we'll look at it then. We'll see how banged up I am, whatever, you know, what opportunities that are thrown at me. But I love to compete, man. It's like it's in me. I just cannot imagine myself not competing. And the good thing about, you know, this is I can always throw the gi on and do jiu-jitsu and do competition and do super fights and stuff like that, you know. So I think jiu-jitsu is going to keep me active for a long time. But I still feel like I got a good 5 years at least in me. So I'm going to throw everything I have in until I'm like at least 41.
Dude, awesome stuff. Well, Brent Primus joining us today. My name's Tim Wheaton with MMA Sucka. Catch his fight at Bellator 263, July 31st against Islam Mamedov. Now, Brent, I'm going to give you the last word here. Tell us more. Where can we find you? Where, you know, give us all the deets. Where can we find more Brent?
Yeah, look me up at Brent Primus 155 on Instagram. And man, just 8 days away, I'm going to go out there and fight my heart out, man. I'm ready. I'm training my butt off, and it's kill or be killed, man. I'm ready for a freaking war, man. So tune in on Showtime on the 31st, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Thank you so much for your time, Brent. Best of luck in your upcoming fight.
Thank you.